Hello guys, good afternoon and welcome to the GCE Math Panel Online. This afternoon we will be revising paper 2, and at the special request of most of the students who have requested for Black June, so we will be using Black June for this revision. So if you're out there, you can just give a hi. Alright, I can see Jean Roger online. Hello Roger. Alright, to begin with this paper, is there any question you'd like to ask as we go ahead? We first of all like to apologize for the late start. We had a bit of difficulty with network. Hello Iris, good afternoon. Nice to meet you again online. Okay, we kickstart with this paper. So the first question reads, Njangi has a simple rate. Njangi has a simple rate of 5% per year. Due to crisis, in the year 20XX, the Njangi reduced the rate to 0% from 1st January to 30th June 20XX. Given that Linda saved 40,000 francs on January 1st, how much will she receive on December 31st? So let's look at this question. So what is required here? How much will she receive on the 31st of December? In this particular question, we are considering the same year. So from 1st January to 30th of June, there is no interest, because we are being told that from 1st January to 30th of June, there is no interest. So given that she saved 40,000 on 1st January, how much will she receive on the 31st of December? This therefore means that the total time for which this money has been made available is just 6 months or half a year. So what does this give us? So in this case, the saving is half a year. That is the time period that we have. Alright, now let us see how we do our calculation. So the amount is equal to principal plus interest, and this principal is 40,000 into 1 plus rate times time. And when we simplify this using our calculators, we will have a total of how much? You can punch your calculators and give us the value. We have 41,000. Okay. So that's it, and that brings us to the second question. So given that the function f of x is equal to 2x plus 3 on 1 minus x, state the domain of this function. Find the inverse of the function, hence find the pre-image of minus 1 and solve the equation f of x is equal to 1. Please can leave your comment as it goes on so that we know the performance of the live class. So here the domain is the set of all real numbers excluding the values that will make this function to be undefined. So we take the denominator and equate to 0, and we will exclude those values. So we say 1 minus x is equal to 0, and when we solve, x is equal to 1. So the domain will be the set of all real numbers excluding 1, as you can see. So that's the domain of this function. Now the b part wants us to find the inverse. So we'll start by saying that let y be equal to 2x plus 3 all over 1 minus x. From here we'll have 2x plus 3 to be equal to y minus xy, and at this point we will have this function to be of the form 2x plus 3 to be equal to y minus xy. And when we expand and simplify, we will have our x to be equal to y minus 3 all over y plus 2. Therefore, the inverse of this function will be equal to f inverse of x is equal to x minus 3 on x plus 2. Alright, thank you, Roger. I can see you giving the answer for the first one. Yes, your answer is correct, Roger. Set of all real numbers excluding 1. Correct. So this is the b part of the function. So this is how we get the inverse. Now, for the c part, we are asked to find the pre-image of minus 1. The pre-image of minus 1. Now, we know that the pre-image is that element in the domain that will give us minus 1. So, pre-image of minus 1, which means that minus 1 is an image. So, we are now looking for that element that will give us minus 1. We can use the inverse function. Since we already have the inverse function to be x minus 3 on x plus 2, the pre-image will be given by f of minus 1 to be equal to that. And when we simplify, what will be the value of this pre-image? So the value of this pre-image, when we calculate, you give us minus 4. So our pre-image should be equal to minus 4. Hence, the d part wants us to solve the equation f of x is equal to 1. So to solve the equation f of x is equal to 1, we take the function and equate to 1 and solve for x. And that is a simple linear equation. That's a simple linear equation. So that will give us 2x plus 3 on 1 minus x to be equal to 1. And when we cross multiply, we'll have 2x plus 3 equals 1 minus x. And at that point, we will have 3x to be equal to minus 2. And x will be equal to minus 2 on 3. So the value of x is minus 2 on 3. That is what we have. So we are still looking at Black June. If you go to the website www.gcemathspanel.blogspot.com, you will have Black June paper 1 and paper 2. This is paper 2 we are looking at, which is the GCE Math Panel Super Mock to prepare you for the exams, revising all the aspects that are required. So we can now move to the third question. The third question reads, if A star B is equal to AB mod 5, find 2 star 3, the identity element and the inverse of 4. So we should note that this is a binary operation and involves modular work. So 2 star 3 is equal to 2 times 3 mod 5. And that gives us 6 mod 5, which is equal to 1. So 6 mod 5 just means divide 6 by 5 and take the remainder. When you divide 6 by 5, it goes 1 remainder 1. So it therefore means that 2 times 3 mod 5 is equal to 1. Now the next thing here is to find the value of the identity element. We know that the identity element is that number that when it operates with any element, it leaves that element on change. So identity element here is equal to 1, because if you operate 1 by any element, it leaves it on change, and we are working with multiplication. Then to find the inverse of 4, we equally know that to get the inverse of 4, when any number operates with its inverse, it gives the identity element. So in this case, we choose from these elements that have been given, and we will see that the inverse of 4 will be equal to which number? What will be the number? Yes, since we are talking about mode 5, therefore means all the numbers can only take values from 0 to 4. So what will be that number that will operate with its inverse? Welcome, Clancy. It's nice to meet you online. You're welcome again. So how do we get this inverse of 4? Since we know the identity element is 1, 1 times which number will give us 4? So you see that the inverse of 4 is 4, right? because 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 mod 5 is still 4. So the inverse of 4 under this operation is 4. Therefore, we can equally say that 4 is self-inverse. 4 is self-inverse. Okay, question number 4. For question number 4, we have, if the matrix A is equal to that, the matrix A is equal to that and B equals that, find the matrix product AB and state its order. Find the matrix product AB and state its order. So first of all, let us look at the matrix A and the matrix B. The order of the matrix A is 2 by 2. It's a 2 by 2 matrix. Let us count. You have, this is row 1, then row 2. So it's a 2, that is 1 row, 2 row. 2 row by how many columns? By column 1, column 2. So it's a 2 row by 2 columns matrix, and we call it a 2 by 2 matrix. And for the matrix B, it has how many rows? 1 row, 2 rows. So it has 2 rows by 1 column. So for B, it's a 2 by 1 matrix. We see that multiplication is possible. Why? Because the number of columns for the first matrix is equal to the number of rows for the second matrix. It is 2 at this position and 2 here. So it therefore means that we can actually do multiplication. So let's do our multiplication and we see what we will have. So for multiplication, we have, after multiplying, we have 13, 17 as the product AB, and the order is a 2 by 1 matrix. Equally, we can know the order of the matrix from here. The order of the resulting matrix, which will be the number of rows for the first matrix by the number of columns for the second matrix. Now B, we have been told that 2 times matrix A plus an unknown matrix X is equal to the transpose of the matrix A, and we are being asked to find the matrix X. So let's start by looking for the transpose of the matrix A. The transpose of this matrix is obtained by interchanging the rows for columns. So instead of having 2 3 as row, it now becomes 2 3 as column, as you can see here. And the second row is 1 5. This 1 5 now becomes 1 5 as a column, no more as a row. And we fit this into this equation. So 2 times this matrix A plus the unknown matrix will give us that. And when we simplify, we will have matrix X to be equal to 2 1 5 3 5 minus 2 times this other matrix. And continuous simplification will give us minus 2 minus 5, 1 minus 5 as a result. So that's what we will have as a result. Now the C part wants us that in the matrix A, which value should take the place of the entry 5 to make the matrix singular. So it therefore means in this matrix A, what value can I use here so that this matrix A becomes singular? So actually, what is a singular matrix? What is a singular matrix? A singular matrix is a matrix whose determinant is equal to 0. So let us replace that value there by x. Let us replace this on this 5 here by x, and then we now look for the determinant. The determinant is the product of the leading diagonal, that is 2 times 5, minus the product of the reverse diagonal, that is minus 1 times 3. So 2 times 5 minus 1 3, it should give us 0. Why? Because they say the matrix is singular. So we have 2, instead of using 5, I'm going to use x because we are looking for a value that can replace the value, that 5 that is there. So 2 times 5 minus 1 times 3 will give us 0. And when we solve, we will have our x to be equal to 3 on 2. It therefore means that the value of x that can make that matrix singular is the value x to be equal to 3 on 2. Please, as we go ahead with the video, don't forget to leave your comments. Don't forget to leave your comments. I hope we are clear here. All right, in that case, let's take the next question, question 5. The next question, question 5. Okay, so let's look at question 5. So question 5 reads, given the network G equals that V, and we have AB, that's the ordered pair, right? AB, BC, BE, CA, CB, EB, EC. Name the set V. What is the set V? So V is the set of vertices. It is the set of vertices. Can equally be called the set of nodes. And the second set that's been given after the V, which comprises of ordered pairs, is the set of arcs or links. So V is the set of vertices. Now, state the elements of the set V. To obtain the elements of the set V, we just come to this set of arcs and we take the first elements. So we have A. We don't repeat them. We have A. Can you see this point? A. The next element is B. B has already occurred. The next element is C. And the next element is E. So the elements of the set V are A, B, C, E. A, B, C, and E. Also, we can get the network, or we can sketch the network. Let's see how we can sketch this network. So to sketch this network, now that we know that the elements are A, B, C, and E, those are the endpoints, and we have been given the linkages from the equation. A moves to B, B to C, B to E, C to A, and C to B, and so on. So we can sketch this. We can sketch this network as follows. So we have A is mapped or moves to C, is linked to B. Now B is linked to C. Equally, B is linked, or let me say, B is also linked to E. C is linked to A. C is also linked to B backwards, and E is linked to C, and C is also linked back to B. So that's the network that we have. That gives us the network. And D is asking how many links are in the network. So to get the number of links in the network, we just count the number of lines. So in this network, how many lines do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So how many links are in the network? We have 5 links in the network. 5 links. If you are just joining us, don't forget to indicate with a hello or a hi. Okay, question number 6. So question number 6 reads, yes, you have a bit of issues with the application. Given the diagram below, find the angles alpha and beta. Find the angles alpha and beta, or alpha and theta. So let's look at, when you look at this network, we see that these two lines with these arrows are parallel lines. These two lines are parallel lines, and these two lines have two transversals. You have this line that cuts it across, and you equally have this one that cuts across at this point where we have this alpha as well. So we can find the values of alpha and beta, right? Now with this particular transversal that we have like this, if you look at this point here, you see that there is a Z here where you have alpha. This angle alpha and 60 degrees form a Z. You can see Z here, right? And since these two lines are parallel, we see that the value of alpha is equal to 60 degrees. because that forms that angle is a Z now. Like most students like to say it in Form 2, that is a Z. So observe that 60 degrees and alpha are alternate angles, and alternate angles are equal. Therefore, alpha is equal to 60 degrees. Now the next thing we have to look for is theta. And to look for theta, we have to understand that 2 theta is equal to 140 degrees. Now normally this angle here is a half of this one. Why is it a half? Because look at these two small lines here. It indicates that this angle and this angle are equal. This angle and this other angle here are equal. Why? Because this is an isosceles triangle. This one indicates that this is an isosceles triangle. So this angle and this one are equal. And we know that this angle here, this 140 degrees, is equal to the sum of this angle and this other one. Right? Why? Because this angle here, look at this angle that I'm using this pointer to indicate. This angle is also 140 degrees. And if it is equal to 140 degrees, then this remaining one here should be 40 to make it 180. Which therefore means that these two other angles here should also be equal to 140 degrees. So that when they add with this 40 degrees at this point, the result will be 180. So what I'm just saying is, this angle theta, this other angle here beside alpha is also theta. Why? Because this is an isosceles triangle, and the sum of these two angles gives us 140 degrees. Therefore, from that point, our theta will be equal to 140 degrees divided by 2, which is 70 degrees. So our theta is equal to 70 degrees. I hope this is well understood, right? Okay, now we look at question number 7. Question number 7. So question number 7 reads, so we are given the Venn. We are given the Venn diagram where the number of elements in X intersection Y is 15 and Y only is 11. Number of elements in Y is 32. Number of elements in X intersection Z is 10. Number of elements in Z is 24. And number of elements in X is equal to number of elements in Z. So complete the Venn diagram, knowing that the number of elements in X intersection Y intersection Z is equal to 10. So let us complete this Venn diagram. And note, the very important point to note here is that whenever you're completing a Venn diagram, you must always start at the center and move outwards. So we start with number of elements in the intersection of all three, which is 10. So we always start at the center, and at the center here we will have 10, right? So number of elements now in X or in Y intersection Z. In Y intersection Z should be the 32 that we have here, number of elements in Y, minus 11 minus 5 minus 10. And this will give us a total of 6 elements. Oh, let me just fill the Venn diagram and then I explain. Okay, so here we see the number of elements for all the three is 10. But equally, I've been told that X intersection Y has how many elements? It has 15 elements here. Can you see, right? So it has 15 elements. Now 10 are already here. So how many elements are left to complete this part? 5. Such that this 5 plus 10 gives us the 15 in this question. Equally, we have been told that number of elements in X intersection Z is equal to 10. Now this X intersection Z is equal to 10, right? But we know that for all the three, we already have 10 elements here. Therefore means that there is no element that is left at this specific position. Now what we are left with now is this Y, which is Y. So let us see. We see that number of elements in Y intersection Z, we need number of elements in Y intersection Z because that has not been given. So to have this number of elements in Y intersection Z, we will have the total number of elements in y, which is 32, minus this y only, minus 5, minus 10. And this will give us a total of how many elements at these points for y intersection z only. That will give us 6 elements, which is what we have calculated. So that gives us 6 elements. That is how we obtain it. Yes, Zhang, since you are writing the ordinary level intermediate, you get the concepts here for paper 1. And if there is a specific paper for intermediates that you like us to revise, then we will equally also discuss that. I don't think just watch on the announcements on YouTube and on our blog. We will put up an announcement for the revision of intermediate. We'll put up an announcement for that. But the paper 1, as they are writing the GCE this time, applies for all of them. And the concepts in paper 2 are the same thing, are the same concepts in technical with some slight differences. Alright, so I also like to inform you that the correction of intermediate level of 2020 is on this YouTube channel. So you can equally watch it, paper 1 and paper 2. The corrections are there. And you can leave a comment. Now the B part wants us to find the number of elements in the universal set, that is NE. So to get the number of elements in the universal set, we have to just sum all these elements that are present here and equate to 52. In fact, the total number of elements in this Venn is 52, and we can use that to find the value of A, because we have been shown here that number of elements outside the union of all these 3 sets is 3A's minus 3. So when we sum all of this, as you can see, it will give us 52, and when we solve, our A will be equal to 2. So that's the value of A. A is equal to 2. So A is equal to 2. Now the next question is question number 8. Question number 8, and question number 8 reads, number 8, yeah, the next one, number 8, please. Okay, so question number 8 reads, an urn contains 12 identical balls, 5 red. 2 balls are drawn at random in succession. Draw the tree if the 2 balls are drawn without replacement. B, find the probability that we can obtain at least 1 known red ball. So here, this urn is like a black bag or whatever, as people have been discussing about. It has 12 identical balls. So the balls have the same shape, size, and everything. The only difference is their color. And since the back or the urn is dark and you can also see the inside, we assume that the selections are done randomly. And 2 balls are drawn at random successively. And they say without replacement. It means that when you remove a ball, you don't keep it before you make the next draw. So whenever you remove a ball, the number of balls in the urn reduces. So now let's draw the tree diagram for this question. So for the tree diagram, we know that there are 12 identical balls, of which 5 are red. So red balls, and either a ball is red or it's not red. So for the red balls, there are 5 on 12, and the remaining ones, non-red, you have 7 on 12, right? This is for the first draw. When the first draw is done, for the second draw, we are left with 11 balls. So if the first ball that is drawn is red, then for the second draw, we'll be left with how many red balls? 4 red balls out of how many? Out of 11. But the number of other balls that are not red will remain the same. It will still be how many? 7 on 11. Now, if the first ball drawn is not red, then the second ball that is drawn will be, to draw the first red ball will be, now, since we have not drawn a red ball, there will still be 5 red balls. Out of how many? Out of 11 now, because the number of balls have reduced. If the first ball that was drawn was not red, then the second draw will be left with 6 known red balls. So 6 now out of how many? Out of 11, because the number has reduced by 1. So this is the tree diagram for this question. This is a tree diagram for this question. Now B, find the probability that we obtain at least 1 known red ball. Probability that we obtain at least 1 known red ball. A ball that is not red. At least 1 known red ball means that we can have 1 ball that is not red, or we can have 2 balls that are not red. So one ball that is not red. So it means that we can have either a red ball and a ball that is not red, or we can have two balls that are not red, right? So this gives us the probability of what? Probability that the first ball is red and the second is not red, or the first ball is not red and the second is red, or both balls are not red. Because at least one ball that is not red. So a ball that is not red must be among. And in this particular case, either the first is red, the second is not red, or the first is not red, the second is red, or both are not red. So in this case now, we just multiply the probabilities above and you will have. So another shortcut is 1 minus the probability that the both balls are red, right? You have 28 on 33. If you still simplify it like this directly, you still have the same answer. So you can do it in two ways, and the result will still be the same. Question 9. Question 9. Okay. So please, we will just take just the A part of this paper, and you can watch the B part of this paper on YouTube. If you go and look at Black June, you will see the paper still on this channel, and you can watch the second part of it, and it is well explained. I plead on you to stay to the end of this paper so that you really grasp some good material. And note that we equally have revision on Sunday. Revision on Sunday at 1 p.m. That one is going to be longer, and that will be our last revision, because when the GCE begins, we no more do revisions. You can only visit our channel and get whatever material. So from Sunday, we don't answer any students' queries, because we can never know what can come up. Just adjust GCE regulations. Now, the next question is question number 9. So question number 9 reads, okay, an inverse function is defined as f inverse of x equals 2x minus 1. Find the function. We have always been given functions and they ask for the inverse. Now they have given us the inverse and they want us to give the function. The truth is, the procedure is the same. What you do to have the inverse function is the same thing you do to have the function itself. So let's see what to do. So we say let our y be equal to 2x minus 1. We solve for x. X will be equal to y plus 1 on 2. We now replace x by f of x and y by x. So that's the function. Hence, find the image of 5. Image of 5 just means f of 5, right? And f of 5 will give us 3. So what type of relation is f of x? We first of all have to look for f of x, and that's how we get it. We now simplify it for f of x. That gives us x plus 3 on 2, and our f of x will be equal to x plus 3 on 4. Now what type of relation is this? Is it a one-to-one relation? What type of relation is this? Yes? Okay. Question number 10. We have been given this logic table, this table to fill, and when you are given this type of table, here we have P and cure as the statements, and we have P implies cure, we have negation of P and cure, and the last one they want us to fill in this value that is missing here. Now the first thing to note is that P implies Q is true when both are the same, or when the second is true. So when both are the same, P implies Q is true when both are the same. That is when P is false, when this one is the same as this one is true, or when the second is true. So let's see how we fill this one. So FF is true. FF is true now. This one, they are the same. So it's going to be true. Then CF is false, right? Because the second is not true. So when both are the same, it will be true. Another condition also is that when the second is true, it will also be true. So this one is false. Now, Negation of P and Q. So we first of all need the negation of P before we use the AND. So the negation of P and Q, let's see this one. Note that we are working here now with the AND statement. The AND Q. So if negation of this one is true, right? If this one is true and this one is false, what will be the negation of P and Q? It will be false, because the AND logic is only true when both are true. So as long as there is a false here, this one will be false. As long as there is a false here, this one will be false. So but when both are true, it is going to be true, and that's how we fill the table. Now the negation of this one here is true, so true gives us true, while this other value here is going to be false. Now the last part here, they have given us, they have filled the table for us, and they want us to find the type of operation that is there. So we have true, false, false, true. So what type of logic is this? So let's see. Note that this is a biconditional, if and only if. So if this one is true, the other one must also be true, and if the other one is true, this one must also be true. Or if they are false, they should either be both false or both true. So this is a biconditional. So you have a double implication. So we put P implies Q and Q is implied by P. So it's a biconditional. Okay. I would also like to advise you, please, there is a paper which we call the examiner's bad hand, and we have Heaven's Gate. If you go to our website and look at ordinary level papers or advanced level papers, you will see this paper. It has been completely answered in PDF. The answer is on top of the paper 1 and paper 2. You can use this paper for revision. Please get those papers, because people are using these papers outside there to make market and to do business. Why students do not have idea about it? Please get those papers, answer them, and see how they write on the GCE papers that are given to you. It's going to be very important, and you see how you can divide your answer sheet while answering the exam. That is one of the purposes why those papers were prepared. So the names again, you have examiner's bad hand. Go to past GCE ordinary level questions, and then you will see a place that we have SPECO or preparatory papers. You will see Black June, examiner's bad hand, Heaven's Gate. Look at them there. The one that has corrections, take them and look at it detailedly. It's very important. Please, it is not for sale. Yes, because you know that very soon you might start selling materials, because you find out that if you are making the materials for you and others are selling them, then there will be no need making them for you. And the problem is because the students are the problem, because they don't know how to find material. So those who can find, those superstars who can find it, they get it and sell it to you. I was searching through one of our papers in the panel, and I saw it being sold somewhere out of the country, and I was surprised. Please, let's get access to the materials. These materials belong to us. We should use them. Now this question reads, given 1 minus 3x, that the product of 1 minus 3x and 2 plus x equals 0, solve for x in this quadratic. So they have already factorized for us now. So either 1 minus 3x equals 0 or 2 plus x equals 0. So from here, x equals a third or x equals minus 2. Now, to state your answer in the set of natural numbers. Note that natural numbers are whole numbers. Natural numbers are also positive numbers. So natural numbers are positive whole numbers. And these two values we have here, they are neither positive nor whole. 1/3 is a positive number, but it's not a whole number, so it's not natural. Minus 2 is a whole number, but it is not positive, so it's not a natural number. So in the set of natural numbers, the answer is an empty set. Now state your answer in the set of integers. What are integers? Integers are whole numbers which can be positive or negative. So we start in the set of integers, we have just one solution, x equals minus 2. If they say we should give our answer in the set of rational numbers or fractions, then our answer will be 1/3, right? Yeah, 1/3. That brings us to question number 12. Question number 12. Question number 12. So for question number 12, find the area and perimeter ABCD formed on a ring with external and internal diameters of 10 centimeters and 7 centimeters. This question is also very good for the technical students, respectively, given that the arcs AB and CD subtend an angle of 60 degrees at the center. My dear students, with this type of questions, the first thing is to draw the diagram that represents this. Is to draw the diagram or to sketch. So we start by sketching. So to sketch this, you start. There are two. This is a ring, right? You have the external radius and the internal radius, and that's the region that they want us to work with. You have 10 and 7, and the angle is 60 degrees. You can see the arc CD and the arc AB. Now we are supposed to find the area and perimeter. The area will be equal to the area of the bigger ring minus the area of the smaller ring, now times the proportion of this angle represented. So times 60 degrees over 360 degrees. So first of all, get the area of the ring, which is pi into r, big R squared minus small r squared. Now times the proportion. The proportion means the fraction, right? Times 60 degrees on 360 degrees, which is the total angle for a circle. Now to find the perimeter ABCD, you just have to take A to C, C to D, plus B to D, plus A to B, and plus C to D. So this one is the same as. Now we know that some are straight lines while others are arcs. So we know that AC is the same as BD, and to get AC, you just have to take the big R minus the smaller r, and this one is the same as this one, so multiply by 2, right? Then to get these values, these arcs here, this smaller arc and this bigger one, it is 2 pi times radius times 360 degrees times 60 degrees over 360 degrees for the smaller one, and then now for the big one, the same thing, but now with big r. So we can just factorize the 2 like this. So 2 pi radius small plus big radius times 360 degrees times 60 degrees on 360 degrees. And when we simplify this, we will have a value of 23.81 centimeters. 23.81 centimeters. Yeah, this question is really a tough one. My advice is that when you with questions in the exam, the students have different levels. So what I'm saying is, when you get those simple questions, because these questions they vary just a bit, answer those ones first, and don't spend so much time on any question. Answer them, then now you come at the end, you can now answer these ones because you have already read through and have an idea. So as you are solving, you are also thinking. You can now come to this one now, and then you now apply the idea there and you solve the question. Hope you are together on this one. Yes. If there is something you do not understand in this video, you can replay the video. There are many of these other videos on the blog. We have 4 settings, A, B, C, and D. If you can go to the website, you can equally see the settings A, B, C, and D. Go to ordinary level past questions. You will see the papers that we have set there. Preparation papers. You will see our settings A, B, C, and D. If you answer those questions, then you are sure to have a very good grade in the GCE. Does not mean that if you answer them, you are going to see those things. No. The ideas are the same because you have looked at all the ideas and summarized them into 4 different settings. Don't neglect paper 1, as I said in the other revision class. Alright, question 13. For question 13. Alright, so this is question 13. So for question 13, ABCD is a parallelogram. State the coordinates of point D. So coordinates of a point is given by the x coordinate and y coordinate. So the x coordinate of this point D is 4, right? And the y coordinate is 2. Can you see the y coordinate is 2? So the coordinate of point D is 4, 2. Then find the midpoint of AB. So the midpoint of AB, you can use the formula, right? The midpoint of AB is x1 plus x2 on 2, y1 plus y2 on 2. So this will give us, for A, x value x1 is 1, and then for B, x1 is 4. That's why you have 1 plus 4 on 2. And then for the y values, the y value here is 0. That's for A. And the y value for B is what? 6 now. 6. When you project, you have 6. All of that divided by 2. So our midpoint is 5 on 2, comma 3. That's our midpoint. Then, what is the length of the line segment CD? So, for the line segment CD, we use the formula. You have x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared, the square root of all of that. So, for our C, we have 1, 4. The x coordinate is 1, the y coordinate is 4. Right? And then for D, we have 4, 2, as we already had above. So x value minus the other x value squared plus the y value minus other y value squared. The square root of all of that is going to give us root 13, which is 3.61 units. At times, also give the answer to one significant figure, one decimal place, whatever. This answer is to 3 significant figures. This answer is also to 2 decimal places. Question 15. Question 15. So we have this pie chart shown, French, English, biology, and math studies in a school. We should find the missing angle. Find the missing angle. How do we get the missing angle? We know that when we sum all of these angles, the answer should be equal to 360 degrees, right? And when we look at the angle for English, if they have put a square here, this square indicates that the angle is 90 degrees. So when we sum all of this, the result should be equal to 90 degrees. So let's sum. We will have the angle x. Let's say this unknown angle, which is economics, is equal to x. So we have x to be equal to 360 degrees minus the sum of all the other angles that are present, minus 80 plus 50 plus 90. So you can first of all start by summing the angles that are present, 80 plus 150 plus 90. Then you subtract from 360 degrees, and that gives us 40 degrees. Now, if 300 students offer maths, how many students offer economics? So 300 students offer maths, that is 150 degrees. And then how many offer economics? So for maths, we have number is 300, the angle is 150 degrees, right? Now for economics, how many students? Let's say we don't know the number of students. Let it be y, because we have used x already. Now let's use y. And the angle for economics is how many? 40, which you have already calculated. So y will be equal to 40. From here, we can cross multiply, and our y will be equal to 80 students offering economics. 80 students offering economics. Yes, we are being informed that the network is still always an issue. I don't know. It's actually always an issue. Okay, question number 15. As you have said, please, many students indicated that we should revise this paper, so you can also indicate which paper you think next that we should revise. Is it 2019 or 2018 paper 2 that we should revise on Sunday? Or there are some questions that you'd like us to revise? You can always send your remarks using this YouTube channel, or you go to our blog and put your comments there. When you go to your blog and you cannot see a place to put a comment, you can actually click on online class. It will take you to our page for live for classes, and at the bottom of that page you'll see where you have comments. You can upload your question there as picture. You can type the question, whatever. We are going to see it and we're going to reply to you. Okay, so question number 15 reads, so please, the paper 2 of this paper is Black June. Go to Black June and you will see this paper. It's already in our videos. Search through all of our videos, you see Black June paper 1 and paper 2 there. Please revise them. There are many others which are not there. Revise them. Especially Examiner's Backhand and Heaven's Gates. Those papers are very important for revision. Alright, so we have this question here and we are being asked to find the side x. To find the side x. So to find the side x, we know that the length which has been given here, x, is the same as this total length from this point to this point minus the length of these small points. But how can we obtain the length of these small points? So we first of all need this total length. We can find this total length by using this big triangle, right? Yes, we can use this big triangle and this angle here. We can use this angle here, this side, to find this long length here, which I call it L. Then to find this shorter length here, what do we do? To find this short length, we can use this angle of 70 degrees and still this side of 119 degrees to find this short side. And when we have the two, now we can now have our x from this longest complete long minus this small place that is short like this. So let x be equal to this total length minus y, where y is this length here. That's our y, right? And let this total length be equal to L, as you can see it being indicated there. So now from here, we can equally have this total angle here to be 64 degrees from calculations. I have it from calculations, but I would not like to go to that. Why? Because this angle here is already 26 degrees now. And then this remaining angle here should be 64 to give us 90 degrees if you like to use that one. Anyway, so tan 70, we can calculate from tan 70. We see that tan 70 are using this smaller to calculate y now. Tan 70 from SOHCAHTOA is equal to opposite of our adjacent, right? Tan 70 is equal to opposite 119 of our adjacent, which is y. From there, y will be equal to 119 degrees divided by tan 70. First of all, look for tan 70 and write the value down. Then you now say 119 divided by that value. Don't make this type of mistake. So y is 43.31 units. That's the length. Now equally, if you are using the bigger triangle now, which is the right angle triangle, we see that tan 64 degrees is equal to L, that's the total length, it's equal to L over 119 degrees. That's opposite of our adjacent now. And that will give us L to be equal to 119 times tan 64 degrees now. Good. So from here now, L is equal to 243.99 units. So we can now get our y by saying that our x rather by saying that x is equal to L minus y. And when we subtract, we'll have 200.68 units. We will have a total of 200.68 units. So guys, this is where we actually end this particular paper. We are supposed to continue with the paper 2, but we cannot continue because we are having a lot of we are having an issue with issue with network, and we plead on you. This is paper 2 that continues here, but we'll not be able to take it. So we are pleading with you to look at our videos, these same videos in this same channel. You will see Black June paper 2. You go there and you continue with the B part of the question. Please don't leave it for another time. There is no time. This time you kept it for math, so use it this particular time to revise the Black June and complete it. And after which, go back to our blog and look at examiner's backhand and Heaven's Gate. The corrections are there as I've said, and exactly what you should do. The corrections on the paper 1 and paper 2. Please revise them, and we are wishing you good luck. We will be again together on Sunday at 1 p.m. Please inform your friends and share this with many in other groups. There are many students who do not have teachers during the year, which was one of the motivations of external bodies coming in to help for the creation of this GCE math panel online. It is thanks to them that we even have this connection and these videos are actually moving, because if it's just the connection of our country, this thing will not actually be going. I'm sure it will just be static. So I'd like to thank especially Fritz, that is actually manipulating or working on everything. I don't know if I said Dr. Fritz. Anyway, it's informal now since we are colleagues. And actually like to thank the panelists too for their great work, and you students out there. We would like to thank Jean Roger. Please keep on watching on the channel to see to keep on seeing the announcements that we'll be making. We would like to thank Miss Iris, who is always there too, and Mbo Clancy too is always there. There are many others who have not joined today. I don't know why, but I'm saying hi to them and wish you the best in your exams. Thank you so much and stay tuned. Bye bye. Please tell your brothers and sisters we have holiday classes for the GCE math panel online. Holiday classes, advanced level, ordinary level, is going to be live class, not on YouTube like this, but a class that will be teaching them and they'll be talking to us, doing everything. And you have full-time preparation from August to May for those who are planning to write June 2022. Please share this information so that we can have people. They can start registering now, because we have about 32 who have registered already, and we need many more students And the registration in time is very good because as the time passes, the registration fee adds. It's not constant. Registration fee is smaller when you register earlier than when you register afterwards. Thank you so much, and bye bye.